Sure, here's a short story inspired by the title. Top HFY stories, embracing primal instincts. The colony ship Endeavour drifted in silence through the vast expanse of the Perseus Arm. On board, humanity's last survivors sought a new home among the stars, but they were not alone. The ship carried not just humans but the collective knowledge of countless other species, both allies and adversaries. Cara Velasquez, the ship's chief biologist, stared at the monitor. A faint ping from the ship's scanners had just revealed a habitable planet, Xantrafor. The air was rich with oxygen, the soil fertile, and the seas teeming with life, but as the Endeavour began its descent, something ancient and predatory stirred in the shadows of the dense Xantran forests. The settlers established their first outpost quickly, erecting domes and drilling for resources, but then the disappearances began. Scouts failed to return, their comlinks broadcasting static and garbled screams. At first, the colonists blamed Xantran predators, giant, six-limbed hunters with eyes that glowed like molten amber, but Kara suspected something worse, an intelligent threat. It came at night. An alien species, insectoid and eerily efficient, launched an assault on the outer perimeter. They moved as one, communicating through sharp clicks and flashes of bioluminescence. Kara had read stories of humanity's triumphs, tales of HFY, humanity, yeah, where courage and ingenuity turned the tide against impossible odds, but those stories always felt distant, like legends. Not anymore, Kara, said Commander Elias, handing her a weapon as they retreated to the central dome. We're outnumbered 100 to 1. She nodded, her pulse steady. Then we need to fight smarter, not harder. These creatures act on instinct. Let's use that against them. Over the next hours, Kara devised a plan. Humans, she reasoned, had an edge no other species seemed to grasp: adaptability. They had evolved to be predators and prey, to fear and to overcome, and most importantly, they had an uncanny knack for turning chaos into strategy. The colonists rigged traps that played on the aliens' pack mentality. A decoy team led the attackers into a narrow canyon where explosives buried in the rock walls detonated, burying hundreds in an avalanche. Elsewhere, drones deployed high-pitched frequencies that mimicked distress signals, luring the aliens into ambushes. When dawn broke, the battlefield was littered with alien remains. The colonists stood battered but victorious. Elias approached Kara, his face streaked with ash and sweat. We did it, against every odd. We held them back. Kara gave a grim smile. Not just held them back. We reminded ourselves what it means to survive, to adapt, to unleash the instincts that carried us from caves to the stars. As the sun rose over Xantrafor, humanity claimed its place among the predators of the galaxy once again, not as conquerors, but as survivors who refused to be extinguished. Let me know if you'd like to expand or refine this. Here's the continuation. Top HFY stories, embracing primal instincts, Part 2. The victory over the insectoid aliens was short-lived. As Kara and the other colonists celebrated their survival, the ground trembled beneath them. From the forest emerged a colossal creature, easily 50 feet tall, its body a horrifying amalgamation of chitin and flesh. Its roar sent waves of fear rippling through the camp. It's a queen, Kara whispered, her voice trembling. The hive won't stop until we're all dead. Elias immediately called for a retreat to the reinforced command center. Fall back, he shouted. We need to regroup and strategize. The queen's arrival was no accident. It had been drawn by the slaughter of its brood, its towering form an embodiment of vengeance. Every step it took seemed to pulse with an otherworldly intelligence, its gaze scanning the colony with a deadly precision. Kara's mind raced. Humanity's strength wasn't just its ability to fight, it was the ability to innovate under pressure. She turned to Elias. We can't take it down with brute force. We need a plan, a way to outthink it. What do you have in mind? He asked. She pointed to the cliffside overlooking the colony. The queen is too massive for traps, but it's still bound by the laws of physics. We lure it to the edge of the cliff and bring the whole thing down. Elias hesitated for only a moment before nodding. You heard her, people, let's make it happen. The colonists scrambled, rigging the cliff with explosives and setting up decoys to draw the queen's attention. Kara volunteered to lead the bait team, knowing the risk but unwilling to let anyone else shoulder it. Are you sure about this? Elias asked as she prepared to head out. She smirked. Humanity didn't come this far by playing it safe. The bait team used flare guns and noise emitters to provoke the queen, its enraged screeches echoing through the valley. It charged after them, its massive form tearing through trees and obstacles as if they were nothing. Keep moving, Kara shouted, adrenaline surging through her veins. As the queen approached the rigged cliff, the bait team split, diving for cover. Kara stayed behind for a moment longer, ensuring the creature was in position before firing a flare straight at its face. Now, she yelled into her comlink. The explosives detonated in a deafening roar, the ground quaking as the cliffside collapsed. The Queen let out a final, furious cry as it plummeted into the abyss, its massive body disappearing into the fog below. Cheers erupted from the colonists, but Kara remained silent, staring at the edge of the cliff. She felt a mix of triumph and exhaustion, knowing this was just the beginning. Epilogue. Weeks later, the colony thrived, the fields were planted, defenses fortified, and the settlers began to call Xantrafor home. But the events of that night left a mark on them all. Kara often found herself looking out into the forests, wondering what other challenges lay ahead. One evening, Elias joined her at the lookout post. "Do you think it's over?" he asked. She shook her head. "Not even close, but we'll face whatever comes next. That's who we are, that's why humanity always survives." In the vast, uncaring galaxy, humanity had proven once again that their primal instincts, adaptation, resilience, and unyielding determination, were their greatest weapons. Would you like to continue exploring their challenges or expand this into a larger series? Top HFY Stories, Embracing Primal Instincts, Part 3. The forest around the colony grew eerily quiet in the days following the Queen's demise. No alien predators emerged, no new hive attacked, but Kara's instincts told her something wasn't right. The silence wasn't peace, it was preparation. Deep in the command dome, Kara pored over the ship's data logs. Scans of Xantrafor revealed vast underground networks stretching beneath the colony. The Queen's death hadn't ended the threat, it had likely triggered a hive-wide response. "They're regrouping," Kara said grimly during a council meeting. "We've killed their leader, and now they'll evolve. The hive will adapt to us, just like we've adapted to them." Elias frowned. "Then what's our move?" Kara's mind raced, formulating a strategy. "We don't wait for them to come to us, we take the fight to them. If they're underground, we destroy their nest from within." The room fell silent. Taking the fight into the alien tunnels was a gamble, but humanity had survived on gambles before. The Descent. A strike team of 20 colonists, handpicked for their combat and survival skills, prepared for the mission. They carried plasma rifles, motion trackers, and seismic charges. Kara led the team, her determination stealing them all. The entrance to the hive lay in a dense jungle, concealed by thick undergrowth. As the team approached, the air grew heavy, the faint sound of clicking echoing from the darkness below. "Stay sharp," Kara whispered. "This is their territory." The tunnels were vast and labyrinthine, glowing faintly with bioluminescent moss. The deeper they ventured, the more the walls seemed alive, pulsing with alien energy. Motion trackers pinged sporadically, signaling movement all around them. "They're watching us," said one of the team, a young engineer named Lin. Kara nodded. "Let them, we're not here to hide." The heart of the hive. Hours later, the team reached the central chamber. The sight stopped them in their tracks. The heart of the hive was a sprawling cavern, filled with writhing egg sacs and alien workers scurrying to and fro. In the center, an enormous cocoon pulsated, emitting a low hum that resonated in their chests. "It's a new queen," Lin whispered. "They're growing another one." Kara's jaw tightened. "Not if we stop it." She directed the team to plant seismic charges around the chamber. The aliens were slow to react, their instincts unable to comprehend the danger, until the cocoon shuddered. A piercing screech erupted from the hive. The workers swarmed, their glowing eyes flickering in the darkness. "Defensive positions," Kara shouted, firing her plasma rifle. The team fought desperately, holding the swarm at bay as the charges were set. Kara could feel the hive's fury, its desperation to protect its queen. "Charges are ready," Lin yelled over the chaos. "Fall back," Kara ordered, her voice cutting through the cacophony. The team retreated through the tunnels, the swarm hot on their heels. As they reached the surface, Kara slammed her detonator. The ground shook violently as the charges detonated, collapsing the tunnels and obliterating the heart of the hive. A massive plume of dust and debris rose into the sky, and the alien screeches fell silent. Aftermath. Back at the colony, the team was hailed as heroes. The destruction of the hive marked a turning point. No longer were they mere survivors, they were conquerors of the unknown. Kara, though, remained vigilant. "They'll keep coming," she told Elias as they stood together at the colony's edge. "If not these creatures, then others. The galaxy doesn't want us here, but we're not going anywhere." Elias smiled. "And we'll be ready." As the settlers continued to build their new home, they carried with them the lessons of the hive: to adapt, to endure, and to embrace the primal instincts that made humanity unstoppable. Would you like to continue exploring the aftermath or delve into a new threat? Top HFY Stories, Embracing Primal Instincts, Part 4. The hive's destruction brought weeks of relative calm to the colony. Crops flourished, water purification systems thrived, and settlers began to build permanent structures. Yet, beneath the surface, unease lingered. Kara couldn't shake the feeling that their struggle was far from over. Xantrafor was too rich in resources, too perfect a haven. There was no way the hive was the planet's only apex predator, or its greatest threat. One night, as the colony celebrated the completion of its first hydroelectric generator, the calm was shattered. A warning from the stars. The night sky lit up as a streak of fire broke through the atmosphere. Kara bolted to the command dome, joining Elias and the tech crew at the scanners. "It's not natural," Elias said, pointing at the monitor. The object's trajectory was precise, its deceleration unmistakably controlled. "It's a ship," Kara murmured, her chest tightening. "Another species is coming." The object landed miles from the colony, a glowing beacon in the wilderness. Recon drones sent to investigate returned garbled feeds, metallic structures, flickering lights, and figures that moved too quickly to identify. Then came the message. A deep, resonant voice echoed through the colony's communications network. The language was alien, yet the tone conveyed authority and threat. The AI translator worked furiously, piecing together fragments. Territory violation, human settlement, withdrawal demanded, annihilation imminent if ignored. Elias turned to Kara. "They think we're trespassers." "We're not leaving," Kara said firmly. "This is our home now." First contact. Kara led a diplomatic team to the landing site. As they approached, the forest gave way to a sleek alien outpost, a temporary structure of shimmering black metal. Towering, armored figures emerged, their forms humanoid but elongated, with glowing veins running under translucent skin. The leader stepped forward, its eyes burning with golden light. It spoke again, the translator rendering its words into halting English. "You, destroy balance. Hive kept order, now chaos spreads. This world is not yours." Kara stepped forward, meeting its gaze. "We didn't come here to destroy, we came to survive. We can coexist." The alien tilted its head, studying her. "Coexistence, not possible. Your kind disrupts, always, leave or perish." Kara's jaw clenched. "We won't leave. If you attack, we'll defend ourselves." The alien let out a low, vibrating hum, a sound that might have been laughter. "Then you embrace chaos. We will see if your instincts are enough." The battle for Xantrafor. The alien force struck without warning 2 nights later. Their technology was far more advanced than anything humanity possessed, energy weapons that melted steel, cloaking devices that rendered them invisible. The colony's defenses, built for fending off wild predators, were woefully inadequate, but humanity's greatest strength wasn't in its tools, it was in its ability to adapt. Kara rallied the colonists, deploying guerrilla tactics to counter the aliens. They used the terrain to their advantage, setting traps and ambushes. Homemade EMP devices disrupted cloaking fields, exposing the enemy. Drones turned into kamikaze weapons targeted their outpost. Every colonist became a fighter, their primal instincts awakened. Turning the tide. As the battle raged, Kara realized the aliens weren't invincible. Despite their advanced technology, they were rigid in their methods, bound by an over-reliance on protocol and order. "They can't adapt," she said to Elias during a brief reprieve. "That's their weakness, they don't know how to improvise." Using this insight, the colonists launched a coordinated assault on the alien outpost. While decoy teams drew the enemy away, Kara's team infiltrated the base, targeting its power core. The final confrontation was brutal. Kara faced the alien leader in a hand-to-hand fight, their clash a stark contrast of precision against raw determination. Despite its strength, the alien faltered against Kara's unpredictability. "You cannot win," it hissed as she delivered the final blow. "We already have," she replied, detonating the charges that destroyed the outpost. Epilogue. The aliens withdrew, leaving the colony battered but victorious. Kara knew they would return, but she also knew humanity would be ready. "This planet is ours now," she said to the settlers. "We've earned it with blood and sweat. Whatever comes next, we face it together." As the colony rebuilt, a new motto emerged, etched into the walls of the command dome. Survive, adapt, overcome, humanity, always. Would you like to explore the aliens' return, delve into other parts of the galaxy, or focus on the colony's growth? Top HFY Stories, Embracing Primal Instincts, Part 5. Months passed, and the colony on Xantrafor grew stronger. The settlers expanded their defenses, fortified their borders, and advanced their technology using salvaged alien equipment. Yet, even as progress thrived, Kara couldn't shake the nagging certainty. the aliens weren't done with them. The calm was the eye of the storm. An unexpected message. Late one evening, as Kara reviewed plans for a new satellite array, the colony's long-range communications system blared to life. "This is Lieutenant Kara Velasquez of the human colony on Xantrafor. Identify yourself." Static hissed through the speakers, then a distorted voice replied. It was alien but different from the invaders they'd faced before, softer, less hostile. "Humans, we observe. Your kind disrupts balance, but you endure. This intrigues us." "Who are you?" Kara demanded, her heart pounding. "We are the Watchers," the voice said. "Long have we monitored the galaxy's evolution. Your survival has earned our interest, but interest alone does not ensure your safety." The message ended abruptly, leaving more questions than answers. The arrival of the Watchers. Days later, a massive ship appeared in orbit, a vessel unlike any the colonists had seen. Its design was elegant, with shifting, iridescent panels that reflected the light of the twin suns. Unlike the first alien invaders, the Watchers made no threats. Instead, a small craft descended to the colony's outskirts. From it emerged a lone figure, cloaked in shimmering robes, its features partially concealed behind a translucent veil. Kara, accompanied by Elias and a security team, approached cautiously. The figure spoke, its voice resonating directly in their minds. "We are not your enemy, but your presence here is disruptive. We seek balance, and balance requires assessment." "Assessment of what?" Kara asked. "Of humanity. Your kind spreads like fire, consuming worlds. You are driven by instinct, primal, relentless, yet you are also creators, survivors. We must determine if your presence is a threat to the galaxy." The trial. The Watchers proposed a challenge, a trial to prove humanity's worthiness to remain on Xantrafor. They would observe the colony's ability to survive a series of escalating scenarios, each designed to test their resourcefulness, unity, and adaptability. "This is insane," Elias muttered after the Watcher departed. "We've already proven ourselves." Kara shook her head. "Not to them. If we refuse, they'll see it as a sign of weakness, or worse, defiance. We take the trial, and we win." Test 1, The Wrath of Nature. The first trial came without warning. The colony's early warning systems blared as a storm of unimaginable ferocity swept across Xantrafor. Hurricane-force winds tore through structures, lightning struck with terrifying precision, and torrential rain turned the ground to mud. Kara led the colonists in securing key facilities and evacuating vulnerable areas. Improvised drainage systems kept the crops from flooding, while repurposed alien tech created energy shields to protect the central dome. When the storm finally subsided, the Watcher appeared again. Impressive. You endure the wrath of nature, but nature is only the beginning. Test 2, The Resurgence of the Hive. The second trial struck at their greatest fear. Somehow, the Watchers reanimated fragments of the destroyed hive, creating a swarm of hybrid creatures, faster, smarter, and deadlier. The colonists fought with everything they had. Kara led strike teams into the jungle, using the terrain and their advanced defenses to outmaneuver the swarm. Even as they lost lives, they held their ground, proving their unity and resilience. The Watcher appeared once more, its tone thoughtful. Your instincts serve you well, but instinct alone cannot save you from yourselves." Test 3, Division from Within. The final trial was the most insidious. The Watchers revealed a dark secret: another human colony existed on the planet, hidden deep in the southern hemisphere. Scarce resources and conflicting goals had led to their isolation. Now, the Watchers manipulated circumstances to bring the two colonies into conflict. Kara refused to let bloodshed define humanity's future. She reached out to the other colony's leader, a man named Drake Mordain, proposing an alliance. "They're testing us," Kara explained during a tense negotiation. "They want to see if we'll destroy each other. Let's prove them wrong." The two colonies united, pooling resources and knowledge to overcome the manufactured crises. Together, they dismantled the Watchers' final test, proving not just their strength but their capacity for cooperation and diplomacy. Judgment. The Watchers convened above Xantrafor, their massive ship casting a shadow over the land. The same veiled figure addressed the combined colonies. "You have surpassed our expectations. Where others succumb to chaos, you find order. Where others divide, you unite. Humanity is dangerous, but perhaps that danger is necessary. You are balanced." With that, the Watchers departed, leaving the colonies in peace. Epilogue, A New Era. The experience left the colonies irrevocably changed. United by their trials, they worked together to build a future on Xantrafor. Kara, now regarded as a hero, remained vigilant, knowing humanity's journey was far from over. As she stood atop a ridge overlooking the colony, Elias joined her. "What's next?" he asked. Kara smiled faintly. "Whatever the galaxy throws at us, And we'll be ready. Would you like to explore what happens with the Southern Colony or dive into humanity's broader place in the galaxy?